Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Mr. Robot. Last time on Mr. Robot we had EPS 2.0 underscore unmask dot part pt1.tc, otherwise known as Unmask Part 1. Yes, it was our first technical two-parter, I suppose, even though, this is obviously serialized television, so two-parters seem kind of redundant, but whatever. But yes, a month has passed since the revolution. Obama was talking about Tyrell Wellick, and Elliot was actually staying with his mother, and he had a specific routine going because he wants to basically try to get rid of Mr. Robot in his mind. He was met by Gideon, however, who sort of disrupted his schedule, and was like, hey, help me, the FBI thinks that I did the revolution, and Elliot's not really doing well, and Gideon was like, if you don't help me, I have evidence against you. Meanwhile, I don't even think Angela was in that episode. No, she wasn't. Meanwhile, Darlene has a new headquarters because she hacked some rich woman's house. Well, not some rich woman. She was the executioner of Evil Corp, and hacked her smart house, and this person was so dumb that she didn't realize that she could A, turn off her internet, and B, go turn off her house with the circuit breakers, but whatever. So that worked out, and now F Society is now using her house as a base. Tyrell is still gone. Was that it? Feels like there was more, but I mean, I guess that's sort of a recap. Nah. Alright. We'll just leave it at that. Meh. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments, and we ought to get right into part 2 of this two-parter in a serialized television show. Here we go. Oh yeah, this was a thing. I forgot about this.
Are you from E-Corp?
Who are you?
Just making a delivery. Please sign here.
It's a delivery boy.
Sir, are you alright?
It's a mask.
Come in. Are you alright?
You have 10 seconds to do what it says, or every Bank of East system will be bricked.
Oh god.
Sir, who is the caller?
10 seconds. Oh. He's just unloading all the money. Oh, they're gonna burn the money. Oh, it's like the Dark Knight. Oh, Scott, what have you done? Why'd you take the mask off, man? Now you're gonna be on record.
You gotta resign.
Ooh.
We have no other options. The president can't go to Congress with a bailout right now.
Fucking Joey Badass.
Then any scrap of confidence the public is already clinging onto will be destroyed. And we all know a con doesn't work without the confidence.
Con doesn't work without a con man. Meanwhile, somewhere else... Oh, Gideon? Whoa.
Maxine was acting a little off lately. She really perked up when she saw you. You a dog person?
Used to have one.
What happened to that dog?
Oh yeah? What happened to her?
Don't have her anymore.
Probably with Darlene, I'm just gonna assume.
Look at these guys. What do you see? A lot of care and effort over what amounts to a pretty shitty game. What's Maxine see? Bunch of dumb animals. Can't think past anything but getting a ball in the hoop. Question is, which is the truth? Maybe all of them. Maybe none of them. Maybe truth don't even exist.
This guy's getting deep.
Maybe what we think is all we got. But unlike you, when it comes to computers, well, I get them about as much as Maxine here gets E.E. Cummings. So when I heard...
Whatever you heard, it's not true. I don't do that anymore.
Tell him you'll help. Try it once, huh? Let that old feeling come back.
It's cool if we continue talking?
No thanks.
Damn, man. Some cold, brutal shit right there. I'm gonna have to go listen to some Adele on repeat when I get back home.
Man, I like this guy.
Do you want to go have a drink at the bar? You know, I know the guy who works here and makes awesome mezcal cocktails. We used to bartend together back at this place.
We're not to be seen together, remember? That was our agreement.
This guy's not as good as Terrell.
We're going with CNBC. They're sending a deal memo as we speak. You know I would rather go with you. You gotta twist their arm.
Bullshit.
Did you just hang up on Bloomberg? Are you trying to get fired? Leave. Excuse me?
Just go.
One question, and I have to approve it. Hi, Melissa. Bloomberg TV agreed to all the points on the exclusive. Foster's sending you the deal memo. Need to get a copy before the staff meeting.
Good job.
We agreed it was only going to be for a brief trial basis.
I think we were both clearly wrong about their motives.
Oh, I think you are being naive.
And I don't think that we need to have these talks anymore. I like my job and I'm not quitting.
Do you?
That's my decision. I have value. And even though you don't see it, they do.
They?
Maybe not the
are
same.
barbarians in $10,000 suits.
Maybe not the same value you're thinking of.
Your resolve. A guy walks up to a woman at a bar. He flirts with her. He makes small talk, but the woman insists she's going to go home with him. And I says, what if I offer you $1 million to sleep with me? The woman's never had $1 million in her life. She stops and considers the offer very seriously. The guy changes his mind. Says, what if I change my offer to $1 instead? Woman is aghast. What kind of woman do you think I am? Guy says, we already figured that out. Now we're just negotiating.
Yeah, that's about... I don't know if that's a full mic drop, but you tripped. It sprung from your hand. Good story.
I recognize myself as exceptional.
I will follow my dreams no matter what.
Well, she is Elliot's
I will
fish.
follow my dreams no matter what.
Well then.
Hey man, I don't mean to be an asshole, but like I said before, I'm all good.
I get that. I was that way in college.
Thought we on the same page.
About what?
When we spoke last night.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Ah, shit.
You really don't remember.
That means he got out.
What will you make me realize?
That they see me.
I almost feel like he needs to fuse, basically. Combine the two sides of himself. I don't know how he can do that.
What's so funny? We started a movement. We were meant to lead it. Now get back on a terminal now.
Give me what I want, or keep shooting me.
Tell me where Tyrell is. Or shoot me again. Because the only one who's gonna drive mad is you.
Oh.
Not me.
Oh. Because they're split, he can hold power over him.
Late for my church group.
Huh.
Peace.
Wow.
This time targeting the Bank of E network.
Wow, that was interesting. He actually does have a little bit of power in this.
When did he leave you?
What, was that on the news too?
No. Just your face.
Aw. The hell?
You may just be a patsy, but you're an important one. This is for our country.
Oh. Well then. Excuse me if I'm not emoting crazily. I am in here though. Uh-oh. Whoa. That's freaky.
Hello?
Is it really you?
Who is this?
Bonsoir, Elliot.
Hey! He gave it to him. Please excuse my almost non-reaction to Gideon being killed. Because, yes, I am shocked. I don't know. I almost didn't process that. God damn it. Oh. It just, like, as it happened, it's like, oh, for the country. Bang! I was just... It literally was, like, that meme. It was just... I just heard Darby get up, so I should go see... I should go check on him. I'll be right back. I don't know why I'm laughing about Gideon's death. I don't know. Just for some reason, like, my mind can't process that. I can't even, like, sit here being like, no, Gideon, you know? It's like, I'm just sitting here like, oh, come on. You know? Man, it's just... It does suck, I will admit. Yeah, obviously it sucks. Gideon's, you know, he's a good man. He was a good man. Which... Right there was like, oh, friend, when did he leave you? It's like, oh, is that on the news too? It's like, well, god damn it, what? Are you kidding me? It's like, after all of that with the you know, the lovey-dovey scenes or whatever, and then it's like, oh no, he just left. Like, what the hell? Like, so there's that. And I don't know why him being shot like that was actually, like, weirdly funny. It's just... Oh, tomorrow I'll be a hero.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna be a hero.
For killing a patsy.
I'm sorry. You may just be a patsy, but you're an important one. In fact, I don't think I've ever met a bigger crisis actor than you before. This is for our country.
Why is that funny? Just, it comes out of nowhere. I'm just... And it did surprise me. I did, like, kind of jump. I hope that comes across in the footage, because sometimes sometimes, like, I feel like, oh my gosh, I, like, jumped, but then I go back in the footage, it's like, I didn't jump. What am I talking about? Like, I felt it, but I didn't visibly jump, but I did there. I felt like it did actually, like, get me, and, yeah, what I do remember is I remember my eyebrows shooting up. I was like, oh, okay then. Oh my god. Why is that? I'm sorry. This is not the response I should be having to the death of Gideon, but oh my gosh, it just happened, and I'm just sitting here. I can't even properly react to that. It just comes right the hell out of nowhere. Like, I didn't even process that properly. Okay. Notes. Scott burned the money. That makes sense that Darlene would have him burn the money, you know? Darlene, who's really, taking up the charge, isn't she? Darlene's taking up the charge, so that was interesting, just the whole thing with, burn the money. It's like, yeah, she didn't want money. That's not what this is about. It was really just about... It was about making a statement, So that was interesting. And yeah, because obviously that Scott had to do it, or else, they would just brick their computers, And it is a bit of a power play. It's like, look, they do have power over Evil Corp. So yeah. Resign. That was interesting. I will say it's interesting because it's like, okay, the villain of this, per se, the villain, being, what the hell's his name? Hold on. Oh, hey, it actually shows what song is playing at the end. That's funny. Okay, let me see. Philip Price. I always forget that. All right. So yeah, Philip Price. It's interesting because it's like, he's kind of the villain and kind of not the villain at the same time, which is interesting. So it's interesting because it's like, okay, we have moments where it's like, okay, this guy is clearly, the bad guy, and he's got things under his control and stuff, but I like other instances where it does show him really, struggling and trying to figure everything out, like when he goes down to those three guys in DC, and like, he has his ideas and stuff, but he's still trying to figure it out, and he's trying to get them to figure it out. So I like that, this obviously isn't like, I don't know, I love the almost equal struggle, that it is a struggle for everyone at E-Corp, So, I don't know why, just the way that they show that, to present it's like, oh, because last episode they said it's like, oh, well, we only, heard it, but we didn't finish it off, and it's like, oh, and especially, too, at the end of last season when they show, White Rose at the whatever the hell place that was. It's like, that place definitely made them look like, mustache-twirling bad guys, but they're not necessarily, They're honestly just shitty people doing things and trying to stay afloat. And it's just interesting to see, it's almost like, you know what it's almost like? It feels like, here's a freaking metaphor. Although I'm saying like, so it's a simile, whatever. But it's like a ship that has some holes in it. And it's like, okay, these are very bad holes. Possibly we can get these done and, patch everything up. Possibly not, though. And it's possible that we won't get these holes patched up and we will sink. And it's like Philip Price, captain of this ship, is going to people and being, he's showing strength, he's showing courage, and he's showing like, hey, don't worry, we are going to get this done. But then he goes back and it's like, how on earth are we going to do this? The panic starts to set in. He tries to figure it out. He's like, okay, can we do this, and it's like, well, we could this. No, that's not a good idea. We can't do that. It's like a slow. How people say, like, oh, that movie was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. This is like watching a boat sink in slow motion, and just watching the different mindsets of people as this boat sinks. So I just really like how they sort of portray that with the E-Corp folks, So, yeah, that was interesting. And I like how he says, I can't resign because then the confidence would be shot. And in order to sell the con that everything is working well, we need the confidence. And honestly, yeah, it's like they need the con man. And Philip Price is your con man, So that was really interesting. We had the talk with, what was his name? Ray. It was Ray. Yeah. Why does this guy look familiar too? Well, known for Mr. Robot. That helps. He was in the second Night at the Museum movie. Ironically, isn't Rami Malek also in that one? I must have had a cameo. I watched a clip of Rami Malek as Achman Ra in Night at the Museum. I was like, man, this is different. He's all energetic and happy and British. Is weird. Anyway. Okay, I thought I recognized the guy that played him, but if I do, I can't remember it. So, Ray. But yeah, we had the talk with Ray, which was interesting. I gotta say, it was kind of interesting, just that talk, and he was starting to get a little philosophical too. I do like, that Elliot is like, look, man, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I just don't want to talk, And I did like that because, yeah, I've been like that before. When people try to talk to me, I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care. I haven't done that in a while. Well, for a number of reasons. For one thing, I don't go around people anymore. And for another thing, I really don't go around people because there's a pandemic going on. But yeah. So yeah, it's like, I totally do get that. But I mean, he was a nice guy, He was a nice guy, but Elliot does not want to open up to him. Maybe that'll change. Because see, I think one of the reasons, it wasn't just, Elliot's like social awkwardness or introvertedness or anything like that. It was honestly just because he needed to maintain the regimen. And immediately they show him talking to Ray. Mr. Robot shows up. Is like, oh, you should talk to him, man. You should help him. It's not even, which is interesting because it's like, it's not a malicious or, dastardly side that we normally get from Mr. Robot. It's not the normal thing we get from him, but just sort of, that's more Elliot's conscious in the form of him just saying like, hey, man, you could help him, You could help him out. Why don't you just give it a try? Granted, you could say that is dastardly because he's trying to break Elliot out of his regimen, because if he can do that, he takes control, basically. So, yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. But Elliot is trying to keep on that regimen because he's trying to keep Mr. Robot in check. But, interesting thing now, they say it's like, oh, you talked to me last night. No, I didn't. And then he realizes, shit, he did. Which is very interesting. It's honestly kind of spooky, It's like at any moment, someone could be like, oh yeah, we talked last night. And it's like, shit, we don't know that. And especially we don't know that because our narrator is Elliot, Our unreliable narrator, Elliot Alderson. Mr. Robot didn't tell us shit. That's the other problem, Water. Drink water, kids. That's the PSA of the day. Anyway. But yeah. But I did like the whole thing of, tell me where Terrell is or just keep shooting me, because the only person this is going to drive insane is you. I can stick to my regimen. You can't, So I actually really enjoyed that he did actually gain some power basically over Mr. Robot. That was a really, really good scene. Because, yeah, it ever since it has been split between the two of them, you know, when it was fully established, like, okay, these are just two different sides of Elliot, I like that, you know, now it's like, okay, this is the first time Elliot sort of has power. Not just in the regiment, but just in general. It's like, look, you can either tell me what I want to know, or we can just keep doing this forever. Because the only person this is inconveniencing is you. So, that was very, very interesting. I like that. And it worked, because he did, again, another spooky edit where, you know, Elliot falls asleep. Next thing he knows, he's at a phone. And it's like, wait, what? And you realize, oh, Mr. Robot brought him to this phone and connected him to Tyrell, you know? It really does make it seem like they are two different people. Like, yeah, every so often Mr. Robot possesses him, basically. Like a ghost possesses him, basically. So it's so very interesting. I feel like in some other sort of story, like, you know, basically in another story, I almost feel like Elliot would just, you know, figure stuff out. It's like, oh, wait, I'm starting to access that part of my memory. Now I know, and you don't have to tell me. But no, they are keeping it definitely split between the two of them. One of them has information the other needs, and the other is the body that they need, you know? Is the main focus, the default personality that takes control. So, yeah, it's just very interesting to see. And now, how Elliot is working, like, it looks like he's now going to be working within that. Like, okay, yes, I am two people. How do I work with that? So, I really like that. Angela is enjoying her job, which she looked like she was enjoying her job. But yeah, that talk was interesting. I mean, she does get stuff done, you know? She does get stuff done, like they showed at her job. But yeah, the lawyer, what the hell was her name? Nair? Yeah. She was concerned about it, and I did like that story. It's like, oh, wow, now we know what kind of woman you are. Now we're just negotiating on price. It's like a Jack Sparrow line. It's like, when they say, it's like, what is it? One soul does not equal another. It's like, well, now that we've decided on payment, we've decided that other souls do count. We're just negotiating on price. So that's a bit of an obscure Pirates moment. Is this the second time I've brought up Pirates on these reactions? I think it is. Huh. Well, let it be known, Mr. Robot reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. You can put that on the Blu-ray. That'll be my quote. And I want to say Alex 7th Hour Films, specifically. Anyway, so yeah, that was a interesting story. Again, Gideon's dead. All right. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not like hugely upset about it. I mean, I am. That sucks because I liked Gideon. You know, he was a good, honest man. But yeah, it just kills him. It's like, oh, well, okay then. So yeah, that was interesting. I don't know. It's just because of how quick that was. I don't know why. I just kind of find that funny. So yeah. I also noticed here in the cast list that the cast is basically put in order that they're credited in the episode. And of the main cast, Christian Slater is obviously last billed. You know, he's in the "and" category before you get to all the guest stars. Gideon, now a guest star, because the character's dead. We're only 2 episodes into the season. But I noticed on here that the FBI agent is actually now part of the main cast, which we didn't get a lot from her, so I'll be curious to see what we're doing with her. Because like we got that brief scene, and then she went in to talk to Gideon, but we didn't see the rest of that. So, yeah. I don't know. And the last thing I wrote down is Terrell, which we can also talk about Joanna a bit, where it's like, okay, well, first off, she had to get a new, BDSM partner who talks too much apparently and doesn't understand they can't be seen together and stuff. So there's that. So yeah, I mean, for God's sake, at least she's not pregnant while she's doing this. That's a start, Nah. Anyway, but yeah, and then we don't know if she was getting a call from Terrell. I mean, although it's probably the only person that has that number, but that was interesting. I think that was just, a way of saying like, hey, I'm still here, basically. Because yeah, Terrell's become like even more interesting now that he's just been gone for so long. It's like, where exactly did Terrell go? And it's interesting that, he is suspect number 1 basically in this, even though the FBI was on Gideon for some fucking reason. But yeah, it's interesting, everyone is like, why haven't we caught this guy yet? And it's interesting that it's like, okay, well, why did they think, what evidence do they have that it is Terrell? Like, obviously they know it's F Society, but they know Terrell specifically. I'll be very curious about that. So yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. Again, another great episode. Really enjoyed it. Sad to see Gideon go, but also slightly funny with how sudden that was. I'm sorry about that. Am I alone in that? I don't know. Like, just the shock is hilarious for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. Guess I'm weird, but what else is new? We're on this channel. Obviously, I am weird. I watch TV for a living, so. Anyway, that's basically it. I'm curious to see where we're going for the rest of this season. But that is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Mr. Robot reactions, don't mind that. You can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure to hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.